So the family structure is broke. We see the single mother phase and so on and so forth, single fathers and everything amongst our people, and then speaking to our people specifically, the family is broke. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that we approach the relationship basis. And what I mean by that is that I think that the young generation is missing something that I had and generations before me had when we were coming up. And it was something that basically allowed us to find our way in a relationship and not to jump into something, sexual or so on and so forth and cause a split or cause a conflict of interest because we just take it to a physical manifestation without dealing with the emotional and the mental and so on and so forth. So what I think this generation is missing, they're missing the concept of courting. Courting is the etiquette of building a relationship. My generation and generations before us, we had the courting thing. Courting was kind of like, passing a letter to the girl, do you like me? Yes or no? Circle the yes or the no, and so on and so forth. These were little ideas of courting. These were things that we were doing in elementary school and so on and so forth. But courting takes a step further. In courting, it is always the man who approaches the female. Can I hold your hand? Can I walk you home? Can I carry your books? Can I carry your book bag? Things of that nature. These were the things that allowed a young man to slide his way in to get next to this young lady and to begin to find out if she could be his potential mate. How does he find that out? He finds it out by asking the right questions, by courting her. You understand? By doing things with her, breaking the ice, sharing a milkshake, going out to lunch and things of that nature. Sex is nowhere involved. Sex isn't even in the thought process. It might be in his thought process back in his mind somewhere, and as well as hers. But the courting process didn't allow that to come forward until there were certain things that was known and manifested. For instance, in the courting process, a young man would approach the woman, and when he approached the woman, he had to approach the family also. This brought the families together. See, courting brings families together. A female, male, when the male comes, he meets the mother and the father. When the female comes, she meets the mother and the father. So now you got families involved. You understand? And families have always been involved when you have individuals. In this day and time, we see what happens because there's no courting. A young man and a young woman meet and they're having oral sex within hours. That's their icebreaker. You know what I'm saying? And then the relationship turns into a physical relationship in 2 or 3 months. It's done. It's conflict. It's beef. Families is involved and so on and so forth. This is what happens when you don't use the etiquette. The process of courting needs to come back. We need to begin to court each other. Courting is a respectful etiquette that is utilized to, again, find your potential mate. There are things that you do to find your potential mate, and courting is one of the best methods to do it. You understand? So we have to bring courting back into existence because courting creates man and wife. You know what I'm saying? It does. And that's what's broken down with this, with the family structure right now. The family structure began to be broken down by the 70s. You know what I mean? Man was moved out. Woman became single. And so on. By the 80s, we had a whole single mother corporation. We got single fathers. We got single parents and so on and so forth. This comes from many external factors. But I think that one of the factors that we miss all the time is the courting process. Brothers, you don't court your sisters no more. Sisters, you don't allow yourselves to be courted no more because you're independent and you're strong, whatever that means. You see what I mean? So we have to go back to the process and look at the process for what it really is. And courting is a science. Courting is what allows you to know the possibilities of the relationship. Not only is the man asking the right questions, but the woman is asking the right questions and she's seeing the answers to the right questions through the action of the man. This is how she will definitely know if this is her potential mate. And the woman always made the decision. She chose who she would marry or who she wouldn't. Brothers, you don't have game. You're not spitting game at a female. Oh, I got her. No, you didn't get her. She chose you, bruh. That's just how it works. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with the courting process. Do not go into the process of building relationship with an ego like you're going to smash something, because that's the wrong idea. That is indoctrinated thinking. That's thinking from TV and music and so on and so forth. Remember, you have to be yourself because there's nobody else you can be because everybody else is taken. So you must be yourself and understand that the courting method is the proper method that we utilize in order to build potential relationships. You know what I'm saying? You have to have respect for yourself and for your mate. Take her out to dinner, take her out for a soda, whatever. But don't think about jumping in her pants as soon as you see it, because you destroyed anything that's potential at that particular moment. Stop looking at women as objects. Women, stop looking at brothers as objects. You know what I mean? And things will be a lot different. Stop looking at each other as conquering tools. You know what I mean? To put under your belt, another notch under your belt. You know what I mean? You're not conquering, animals or something of that nature. So stop thinking like an animal and let us come back to the science of courting, the respectful methodology of building a relationship. And that's something that has to be retaught. You understand? So, we have to teach courting. So what you do is, if you got grandparents who are still alive, I suggest you go sit down with your grandparents who've probably been married for 60 or 70 years and ask them how they have maintained a 60-year marriage. Well, I know how they've maintained it through the science of courting. They knew that they were potentially made for each other after they went through a process. And this is what relationships is all about, process. And this is something that is missing in this generation, the process. On that note, let's learn the process. Peace.